Young and the Restless next week. Tessa's steamy kiss with Daniel shocks. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week indicate Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks, and Daniel Romalotti, Michael Graziadei, are heating up. We've also got Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, making Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, Suspicious, and Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, bulldozing her way where she is absolutely not wanted. Young and the Restless. Phyllis terrorizes Christine. So as we get closer to November sweeps, which kicks off at the end of October, we're also getting closer to the wedding of Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, to Christine Williams, Laura Lee Bell. And of course, Phyllis cannot stand that Christine is getting a happily ever after with the man that Phyllis has always wanted. But who never wanted her? At the end of this week, we have Phyllis sitting down uninvited at Danny and Christine's table, and she hassled them. Because she wasn't invited to their wedding. She didn't even know that much about it or anything. As if Phyllis was ever going to be on the guest list. I mean, it's laughable. She was upset that she didn't know Danny and Christine were about to get hitched. And I remember a conversation a while back with Danny and Daniel where they were talking about the engagement and the inevitability of Phyllis finding out. But nobody really wanted to be the one to tell her. So, yeah, it's gotten way down the road. Danny insisted that he wanted to tell Phyllis himself and in person. But he says she's been hard to track down and she's so wrapped up in Kane Ashby's, Billy Flynn's schemes, obviously. Young and the Restless. Phyllis spars with Christine. Phyllis then did her usual song and dance about how great her career is going. Her life is fabulous, she's taken over the world, blah blah. Then Christine told Red, "Stay away from our wedding." And Phyllis clapped back and said she didn't want to see Christine in a horrible wedding dress anyway. I just hope Phyllis doesn't do something awful to her wedding dress. There's no telling, right? So Danny tells Phyllis she needs to just let it go. And he says, "Sorry I didn't tell you about the wedding, you know, or invite you," which is pretty funny. Because I doubt Danny means either thing. I mean, why would he ever want Phyllis at his wedding to Christine? Cricket said she and Danny are going to last forever this time. But Phyllis was insulting her, saying the usual nonsense about Danny dumping Christine soon. And then the bug hit back at Phyllis about how she's alone, and Christine said that she can't ever make a relationship work. So Phyllis then hit back and said, Christine can't make Danny happy. Phyllis doesn't even think they'll make it to the church. And Christine said Danny's always there for her. And then they even start kissing in front of her. Phyllis thinks they're putting on a show and trying too hard. Phyllis crashes Christine's bachelorette party on YNR. After Phyllis finally left, we saw Danny and Christine agree that they're going to have the best wedding ever. But they need to do their bachelor and bachelorette parties. So you'd think Phyllis would just mind her business, just drop it, just focus on what she's got going on in her life. But no. Next week's Young and the Restless spoilers have Christine totally horrified. Because Phyllis shows up and crashes her bachelorette party. All the other movers and shakers among the ladies in Genoa City are there. But it looks like Phyllis's invitation got lost in the mail. Because, it was never sent. Christine is disgusted, wants to know what Phyllis is doing there. And obviously, it just looks like she's not going to be peaceable about this and let Danny and Christine get married without causing as much trouble as possible. I do think Danny and Christine are going to make it to the I do's and man and wife. But I think Phyllis is going to continue to be problematic until they get those rings on their fingers. And she may not even stop then. Kyle's desperate LA trip and a Newman recasting update on Young and the Restless. Also this week on Young and the Restless, we had Kyle shocking and irritating Claire when he showed up uninvited in LA with flowers and asking to talk. Kyle name-dropped Harrison Locke, Redding Munsell, trying to convince Claire to come home with him and forget about Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. But she wouldn't budge. Claire was very polite when she rejected Kyle again. But then he insisted he was going to stay in Los Angeles a few more days in case Claire decided to spend some time with Kyle or go home with him. As expected, Claire seems even more attracted to Holden after Kyle showed up and crashed the trip and refused to take no for an answer. So next week in Young and the Restless spoilers, despite Claire asking him to go back to Genoa City, instead of doing that, Kyle is lurking around the hotel and he is spying on Holden, who's talking to Sienna Bacall, Tamara Braun. But then Claire spies Kyle doing the spying on Holden. And Claire wants to know what he's doing. And Kyle kind of tries to pivot and says, "No, the question is what is Holden doing and who is he doing it with?" So clearly Kyle is trying to shake Claire's trust in Holden. I don't think it's going to work. Because Claire already met Sienna and she knows that Holden and Sienna are friends. And if Holden were trying to hide something from Claire, He wouldn't be meeting Sienna somewhere that Claire could easily walk up and see them together. Y&R spoilers. Lucas Adams' debut as Noah Newman coming up. I'm curious to see if Holden knows that Noah Newman, Lucas Adams, also knows Sienna, since she is clearly going to be tied into Noah's crash story. Also, in a casting update, we have not seen the face of new Noah yet. He's all bandaged up, so it could be anybody in that hospital bed. But we will see him before too long. Lucas Adams makes his on-screen debut as Noah Newman on November 4th. And it looks like we will finally see his face once he's back in Genoa City. So that sounds like that he may still be all trussed up in bandages when his parents bring him home. Because you're talking, was that like 2 weeks from now? Tessa and Daniel's relationship heats up amidst marriage woes. So, also we have Tessa reeling from her visit with Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, this week. If you remember, Tessa went to the clinic in Boston to see Mariah again, trying to save their marriage. But Mariah would barely talk to her and she pushed Tessa away again. So next week, Young and the Restless spoilers have Daniel getting much closer to Tessa, and there's some sizzle. So, Daniel's with Tessa and she stumbles into him. I don't know if they're drinking. It kind of looks like Tessa is a little tipsy. She falls into Daniel. He grabs her and says, "I got you." After he catches Tessa, she plants her lips on him. And she and Daniel have a passionate kiss. We know he's got feelings for Tessa. I think she has feelings for Daniel too. Can't wait to see where Genoa City are no strangers to scandal, but even by their standards, what went down at Crimson Lights this week left everyone reeling. Tessa Porter, once known for her soulful songs and devoted love to Mariah Copeland, has found herself tangled in a moment of passion that nobody saw coming. And the man on the other end of that steamy kiss? None other than Daniel Romalotti Jr. It was a twist that shook both fans and characters alike, raising the question. Was it a one-time mistake, or the spark of something much deeper? A chance encounter turns explosive. It all started innocently enough. Tessa had been struggling to get her music career back on track. After months of writer's block and emotional strain following her and Mariah's struggles as new parents, she was searching for inspiration. Daniel, meanwhile, has been grappling with his own demons. His complicated relationship with Heather, the ups and downs of being a father to Lucy, and the constant pressure of balancing his creative projects at Chancellor Winters. Their paths crossed one evening when Daniel stopped by Crimson Lights for a late-night coffee, only to find Tessa strumming her guitar, lost in thought. What began as a heartfelt conversation about art, love, and failure gradually took on a more intimate tone. "She's always been this emotional mirror," Daniel confessed, his eyes lingering on her. "Talking to you feels easy." Tessa smiled softly. "You get it. The highs, the lows, the chaos of wanting to be perfect when perfection doesn't even exist. That emotional connection, the kind that feels like it sneaks up on you, became the spark that ignited something neither of them expected. The kiss that changed everything. As the cafe lights dimmed and the world outside faded away, the music between them shifted. Tessa's guitar fell silent as Daniel reached out, brushing a lock of hair from her face. The air was charged, their words slowing until only the sound of their breathing remained. Then, without warning, Daniel leaned in. The kiss was hesitant at first, a testing of boundaries, but quickly deepened into something raw and undeniably passionate. For a brief, electrifying moment, time stopped. And then, just as suddenly, Tessa pulled away, eyes wide with shock. "What did we just do?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Daniel looked equally stunned, his mind spinning. "I don't know. But it felt real." It was the kind of moment that could never be taken back. And in Genoa City, secrets like that never stay buried for long. Mariah's world shatters. When Mariah found out, thanks to an all-too-observant Sharon, who spotted Daniel and Tessa's awkward tension the next morning, it was pure devastation. Mariah has fought fiercely for love and family, and she's always believed that her bond with Tessa was unbreakable. Her reaction was nothing short of explosive. "After everything we've been through, the adoption, the sleepless nights, your career ups and downs, you choose him?" Mariah shouted during a heartbreaking confrontation at their apartment. Tessa tried to explain, tears streaming down her face. "It wasn't planned, Mariah. I swear it just happened. I was confused, and Daniel, he understood things I couldn't even put into words." But to Mariah, that explanation was just salt in the wound. "You found comfort in another man instead of coming to me. That's not confusion, Tessa. That's betrayal." Fans of the young and the restless know that Mariah doesn't forgive easily. And this time, it might be one wound that never truly heals. Daniel's fallout with Heather. Of course, Tessa isn't the only one facing the aftermath. Daniel's rekindled relationship with Heather has been rocky from the start, but this betrayal could be the nail in the coffin. Heather, having recently moved back to Genoa City to give their family another chance, walked in on Tessa and Daniel in an all-too-intimate conversation at the GCAC. Her face said it all. "Please tell me this isn't what it looks like," she demanded. But Daniel's silence told her everything she needed to know. "I thought we were rebuilding," Heather whispered, tears brimming. "Turns out, you were just finding new ways to destroy us." It's safe to say Heather won't be playing the forgiving ex this time, and the custody battle for Lucy might soon take a dark turn. Sharon and Devon weigh in. As with any Genoa City scandal, the ripple effects are far-reaching. Sharon, ever the calm voice of reason, tried to console Mariah while subtly guiding her toward perspective. "People make mistakes," Sharon said gently. "The question is whether you can ever look at her the same way again." Devon, Daniel's business partner, was far less forgiving. "I took a chance bringing Daniel back into Chancellor Winters," he snapped. "If this drama starts affecting our projects, he's done. Personal life or not, he's crossing too many lines." Tessa's music career, which had just begun to rebound, is also hanging by a thread. Social media in Genoa City has exploded with chatter, some fans dubbing her the heartbreaker of the year, while others are defending her as a flawed artist just trying to find herself.